What's up, y'all? This is comical, man. Listen, let's get right to it, man. I'm not gonna be long. I say that all the time, but I'm serious. I'm jumping right in. I'm getting out of here. I'm gonna go eat my Sunday dinner. But let's do it the proper way. Welcome to the Terrible Towel post-game show. I am SimFBallCritic, live from the steel basement, aka the virtual Heinz Field, and we are going to talk about the tie between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Detroit Lions. First and foremost, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going like we always do. I'm going to say hello to a few early commenters. Let me say this and get this out the way as well. No phone calls for the post-game show. Phone calls will be available for Terrible Towel Tuesday, all right? That's when I will let you guys have at it. All right, let's get to it. First and foremost, Robert Ellison, Vistalite, DCTV, Lance the Shield, Lazy Bunnies. Hello, Miss Lanisha. How you doing this fine evening? Knight Rider, Luis D, Marlon Nicholson, Jack, is it Chickpole? Not sure what the X stands for there. Hello, Miss the real Missy. How you doing? Thank you for coming through this evening as well. Appreciate that. Rajon 39, George, Jesse George, Wave Dave 10, Verducci Man, Jordan Mid. You know, he says pain. I don't know why you in pain, man. Don't worry, we're gonna get to it. Real facts. Who else? Football Mind is in the building. Tony B is in the building. And all right, I'll end it right there, man, because like I said, I want to get right into it so I can be in and out. Literally. Listen, I told you, the post-game show is not intended to be super long, so let's do it. First and foremost, the Inactives. And whatever reason, I made a notation here, and as I see here, I did not put them down. So I guess it was obvious who didn't play. We know for sure Witherspoon, Buddy Johnson, Haskins. I can't remember who else was on the list. Zach Banner did get a helmet today, so I did want to mention that. And, you know, the question I asked Kenyon and Tony, you know, before the game started, do we think he plays at all? Does he start? As we saw, he did not. But I can't remember exactly who all the other inactives was. But at the end of the day, you know, we already knew Chase Claypool was out. We knew about that. And then, of course, guys, we knew Ben Roethlisberger. Ben Roethlisberger did not play. For those of you that didn't know that, then I don't know what to tell you. But, of course, Ben Roethlisberger was placed on the COVID list, which is the reason why the thumbnail that you see there is the guy who, you know, he's the guy. And here's the funny thing. I'm going to pull up these stats, man, and I forgot to do this earlier. Hold on. Give me a second. Because I want to reference these stats a little later. I want to reference these stats. Let me find the game. Give me a second. Let me find the game. All right. Mason Rudolph threw the ball 50 times. Keep that in mind. We'll get back to it in a second. So, important penalties. Well, let's get back to that. In-game injuries that we need to keep an eye on. Dotson went down in the second quarter, did not return. Joe Hayden went down in the second quarter, did not return. Minka goes down in the third quarter, but he did return. TJ Watt goes down, and my heart really sank. My heart sank too when Minka was down because I didn't see what happened. But I saw more of the play with TJ Watt. It was on that sack. And when guys usually go down in those situations, it's a knee or a foot or something is bent. So I was really, really feeling, you know, like, man, hopefully this is not going to be a situation where TJ's his season is cut short or what have you. But come to find out, you know, he appears to be okay. At least he seemed that way. He didn't stay in the back. He didn't stay in the medical tent that long. He walked around. I think they kind of kept him out just to be cautious, and I'm cool with that. And then Trey Turner went down as well. So at some point of this game, we were -2 of the starting offensive linemen. Very interesting. Anyway, guys, I'm going to burn through these series. Like, honestly, I don't even know if I want to really do this the way I do it every week. You know, it was 14 drives offensively. So I think what I'm going to do is just read through them really quick and not really spend time on each one because we all saw it. It is so much I want to talk about in a short amount of time. So let me get right to it. First offensive series, Ray Ray's unable to get the pass unable to get past the 25-yard line. The drive starts at the 17. There was an RPO complete to Washington for a pickup of 6. Najee fights for 4 yards to pick up the first down. Najee rushes for 7 yards on the then first down. It was a high snap. Remember this. This is the first drive. High snap on the next play. And Rudolph was able to handle it, and he roams around a little bit, finds Ray McCloud along the sideline for a first down. Remember, that was kind of an improvisation type of play. Najee then picks up another 3 yards on first down. Rudolph makes a tight throw to Freiermuth on the next play for 4 yards. 3rd and 3 comes up. Rudolph takes a shot downfield to James Washington, and James Washington is able to draw pass interference. Najee then picks up another 13 yards on the very next play on a nice run. Next play, he's able to stumble for 2 yards. Then Rudolph misses Freiermuth high on the next play, which was 2nd down. On 3rd and 8, Rudolph was able to find James Washington for the touchdown. Looks like he was all alone in the end zone. So clearly there may have been some type of miscommunication or a blown coverage. But again, very successful drive, right? First defensive series, Derek Watt gets a great tackle at the 11-yard line. You know, I wanted to highlight him because Derek Watt, man, definitely has been the special teams guy that they signed. No doubt about that. Whether you like him, his utilization as a running back or a fullback or a blocker, what have you, we cannot deny that he is and has continued to be the special teams guy that he was before we had him. Lions was called for a false start, backs them up to the 6-yard line, and still is able to stuff the run on the first down. There was a pickup of 2 yards on a pass play. The very next play brings up a 3rd and 12. Lions run a draw, and Highsmith is able to chase down Swift from behind, and the Steelers able to get off the field 3 and out. Again, when this happens, when these situations happen, you cannot ask for a better situation. If you receive the ball first and you score and then you pitch 3 and out on the defense, you can't ask for a better start. All right, let's run through these. Second drive, play action pass to Derek Watt on the first down, picks up 2 yards. Flowers then blows up the next play, blew up Gentry. It was a jet sweep. It brought up a 3rd and 4, and Rudolph misses Deontay Johnson with a ball that was thrown too high. That became a theme. Steelers were forced to punt, and Steelers unable to take advantage of great field position. I had to point that out because we had tremendous field position there. Defensively, Edmonds was able to blow up a quick pass to Swift, forces a 3rd and 4 on the Lions. The Lions run on 3rd down and only pick up 3 yards. The Steelers force their own 3 and out. Great. Third drive. Najee picks up 5 yards on first down. Rudolph runs play action and finds Ray down the field. Steelers lose 2 yards on a quick wide receiver screen to Deontay Johnson. The Lions then were able to force us into a 3rd and 12. Mason Rudolph throws the ball on a check down to Ballage. It was high and behind him, and it gets picked off. Just like that. Jared Goff goes deep downfield on play action, and Hayden able to recover with the ball thrown short. And I made sure I notated that because remember, guys, and I even notated this, Hayden can't run. Joe Hayden just can't run. He's just not a fast and open field anymore. So remember that. Had Jared Goff been able to put some air on that ball and throw it in front of the receiver and the receiver not having to slow down, that's probably a touchdown. But I give Joe Hayden credit for staying in phase and recovering, was able to get the ball out of there. And on 3rd and 10, the Lions run the ball again, and Watt was able to shut it down 3 and out once again. Fourth drive, Najee picks up 4 yards. Actually, let me just give you the highlights. On the fourth drive, nothing really happened. The Steelers gave up a big return on the punt return, but we didn't do anything on that series of downs, so we went 3 and out. Right after that Jameer Jefferson was able to run straight up the middle on us for a 28-yard touchdown. Remember, that's when they that's when they tied at 7-7. On the fifth drive, Steelers start the drive with the false start. We were then faced with a 3rd and 8. Rudolph able to find Deontay Johnson against the blitz. And the Lions were also called for 12 men on the field right after that. What else was important on that drive? Najee picks up a first down on a pitch out, picks up a big first down off, it was basically a 12-yard run on the pitch out. And he scores on the very next play. Remember that. Najee scored on the very next play, but it was negated by a holding call. on Dan Moore. Now, it was kind of behind the play. I get it, but at the end of the day, it happened. He got called for holding. The Steelers at that point were able to only kick a field goal going up 10-7. And I wrote here that was significant. That was a significant penalty because it took a touchdown off the board. After that, let's see. Lions get in an in-goal situation. Cam Sutton has an opportunity to not reduce, but basically eliminate points. Y'all remember that play? It was a 2nd and goal, and Cam Sutton drops the interception. I know it was nasty out there as far as the weather, but again, guys, when the ball hits your hands and you're looking for it, you're playing defense, you're looking for the ball. I mean, you're a DB. You're not a defensive lineman, so you should have a little better hands. You cannot drop that. Again, that would have taken points off of the board right there. But at that point, it was a 10-7 game. Lions, well, I'm sorry, it was 10-10. And then it ended up being 10-10 because they kicked the field goal there. And I put here Cam Sutton could have taken points off the board. It was 10-10 at the half. Coming out in the second half, the Lions get the ball. The Lions are called for holding on the kickoff. Swift breaks a big run on first down. More and more missed tackles by the Steelers. And the Lions are able to pick up the first down again on a 3rd down. And basically they ran the ball. Okay, and what happened here, I notated, the Steelers were in dime defense, and the Lions was gashing us. They gashed us on this particular play. Remember the one where it was a run of 42 yards by number 35? We were in a dime defense on that play. And this is what I don't understand so much. Listen, I'm not the head coach. I'm not the defensive coach. I am not an NFL level coach, not at all. But remember, on that drive, guys, it was eerily similar to Seattle. The very first drive after the second half, well, to begin the second half, they was running that ball down our throat. Remember, we had just gave up a 28-yard run earlier in the second quarter. And exactly, again, just like Seattle, for some reason, that opening second half kickoff, offense is able to run the ball down our throat. And in my opinion, I don't know if I would have went into a dime on 3rd and 9. And it's not to say that we would have stopped it if we weren't in dime, because they was just running the ball, man. I mean, run defense was horrendous. But I just felt right there, I'm looking at whoever made the call. If it was Keith Butler, or I know Tomlin has a hand on defense, whoever made the call there, I did not like it. Again, it's me using my opinion. Who knows if it would have worked or if it wouldn't have. I just felt like clearly the Lions were running the ball. Clearly there was something going on with Goff, right? This dude only threw the ball. That's why I wanted to talk about the stats. He threw the ball. He ended up only throwing it 25 times. He threw a little more later in the game, but at that point, remember, they were just running. It was a point in the game, I think at the half, that Goff was like 11 for 34 yards. And I understand it's a passing down, but I mean, I might have just went nickel. At least get one extra bigger person out there. But whatever, man. 42-yard run for a touchdown. 6th possession by the Steelers. Mason Rudolph with a huge scramble on the bootleg, had no one open in the secondary, and then the Lions were also called for a late tackle on Najee on that particular drive. And I said that it was a dumb penalty on their part, because it would have brought up a 3rd down by the Steelers, because Najee didn't really pick up anything on that particular play. But then right after that, man, Mason Rudolph comes down and scrambles for a big-time first down, 11-yard pickup, takes a big hit and gets up, and kind of lets the defender know, whatever, that won't nothing. And the defender was actually hurt. So I thought that was just an interesting swing, right there, a difference, something we haven't seen. And I notated here, and this is not to shade Ben. I'm just saying, Ben can't do that. And what I'm saying is, going forward, we're going to need a quarterback that can at least take off if they have to, right? Now, not by any means am I saying a Mason Rudolph type of guy is mobile, but I'm saying he has the capability to use his feet to pick up a first down, and that is an extra weapon. Even though he's not considered mobile, that's something that we cannot do with Ben Roethlisberger. You understand what I'm saying? If the play breaks down, it just breaks down at this point. And that's why I'm just saying, going forward, it's definitely time for us to, it's time. It's time. This is probably going to be Ben's last season, and I think it should be. But speaking of which, for everybody who was bashing Ben Roethlisberger and campaigning and pumping up Mason Rudolph, I'm just saying, how y'all feel now? But anyway, let's keep it moving. Steelers get a field goal, 16-13 at that point. I'm just looking for the highlights, guys, because I could be here all day reading all of this stuff. 4th and 5. The Steelers able to force a punt on the very next possession. They got the Lions in a 3rd and 6. On the 7th offensive possession by the Steelers, Mason finds Ray down the field for a first down. The Steelers were facing a 3rd and 4, and Rudolph takes a shot downfield to Washington, but they're unable to convert. The Lions brought a blitz on that play, so I'm sure that's why he, kind of rushed it, kind of predetermined where he was going with it, but we couldn't connect. Whatever. Then on the 8th offensive drive, the Lions held, what did I put here? 1 yard gain. Okay, I labeled this wrong. This was the play where TJ Watt gets the sack, but he goes down. So I did put on the very next possession after that, TJ Watt gets the sack and ended up being a 3rd and 15. The Lions was called for false start, ended up being 3rd and 20, and the Steelers were able to force a punt. So again, it's good when your offense, if the offense stalls, it's good when your defense can get off the field right after that. Because a lot of times when an offense stalls, especially if they do it like repeatedly in the game, that's when your defense usually is put under more pressure and they get tired and such. The next offensive series, the Steelers, again, unable to do really anything. But on 3rd and 15, Najee takes a dump down and gets enough to get in field goal range. Chris Boswell able to hit a 51-yard field goal. At this point, it's 16-16. And we know that's how the game ended up. But let me see. There's no need of me even going into the rest of these series, man. Let me find one that's important. The Steelers started, getting clamps on the run again later on. In the 4th quarter, they kind of picked it up. We were hit again on our next offensive possession, a 3rd and 3. Mason Rudolph missed Deontay Johnson for what would have been an easy first down and possibly a touchdown. You guys know the one I'm talking about. It was the quick slant. And Deontay tries to get it with one hand, just couldn't get it there. It was out in front, a little high. Rudolph, you got to make that throw. That's easy money. Easy money. And like I said, man, with Deontay's shiftiness and, the speed that he does have, he's not a burner, but he's fast enough. That might be a touchdown, depending on where the safety was. And Detroit was giving us a lot of man coverage looks too, man. But you can't miss that. You cannot miss that throw. He did, and the rest was history. Right after that, man, Highsmith got a tackle for loss on first down. Cam Haywood and Highsmith both come up with a sack on that drive. So the defense started picking it up. Let's see, 11th offensive drive. We were put in a 3rd and 8 situation, and there was an incomplete pass to Washington. And I wrote here, the Steelers do nothing again with great field position. How many times, guys, were we getting superior field position and we do nothing with it? We gave the Lions the ball back with 2 minutes and 22 seconds left on the clock. They don't do anything. 12th drive by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Najee picks up 2 yards on first down. Mason Rudolph finds Deontay Johnson, but Deontay Johnson fumbles and gives the ball back to the Lions. First office visit. Deontay Johnson, man, come in here. This is going to be a quick office visit just because I'm busy and I need, you know what I mean? But come in here, man. Deontay, listen. I have said this repeatedly, and I'm still going to say this. You are the number 1 receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You're shifty. You're a great route runner. You've shown better hands. You have still dropped a couple this year, but not as bad as last season so far, right? You've even been able to get behind the defense in some situations. You're the all-purpose guy for the most part in terms of skill. Toughness, not so much, but you're not that much, you're not that big of a guy. But one thing that has continued to be an issue with you is ball security. I understand Gilbert, who I'm sure practiced against you at some point when he was in with the Steelers. I mean, he just winds up and punches it out. And the reason why I can put a little blame on you, Deontay Johnson, as the receiver, or any player carrying the ball, in today's NFL, that's what people are trying to do. They're trying to knock the ball out. You have to secure the ball better when bodies are around you. If you don't fumble right there, it's potentially a field goal. Maybe we score, who knows? Because that was a huge first down. We were already on the other side of the field. Cannot fumble in that situation, man. Again, great play by Mark Gilbert. Tip of the hat to him, but you have to be aware. You cannot fumble the ball away in that situation. Get out of the office, man. That was the first thing right there. Next up, Devin Bush. I need you to come in this office too real quick. Come on in here, man. Devin Bush. I've been trying to be patient with you because you're coming off an injury, and I understand that. You're trying to get your bearings back. You're trying to get back into football shape, if you will. And that's not just physical. It's also mental. I understand all of that. And I'm not ready to just say, give up on you. But not only are you not making as many plays as we would like, that holding. And I know it was a little ticky-tack. I know. But you take your hands off of Hockenson. You got help. You got help. Come on, man. Minkah gets the pick, and we right back in business, baby. But you call for defensive holding in the middle of the field where the ref is going to be able to see that. Devin Bush, you got to step up, man. Because right now, again, we all understand the injury and all of that, and you might be tentative because that's what I'm feeling. Even when you are filling gaps, you're not doing it with force. It's like you just go to the gap and you just stand there to get blocked. And again, I'm not out on that field. I don't know how hard or easy it is to, get off of a guard or whoever else is blocking. But I don't see you attack and fill the hole. You need to call Vince Williams. Why don't you call Vince Williams and let him remind you how he used to fill the gap? You either make the play or you blow up the play. That is what middle linebackers are supposed to do. When they see a pulling guard or they just see a head up, one-on-one block from a guard coming right at you. You attack the block. You don't allow yourself to get swallowed up. And again, I know you're playing against other professionals. Let's give them credit too. But I'm just saying, this is what I'm saying about tentativeness. You're looking tentative out there, like you're thinking, and you're not just reacting and relying on your instincts and your speed. And that could be injury related. I don't know. I'm just saying, man, we're going to need you to pick it up. All right, get out of the office. And folks, let me stop right here and say this. There was your Minkah. That was your interception right there. That was it. That was an outstanding play by Minkah. Not his fault he got called back. So while people are going to say Minkah ain't did nothing, Minkah ain't playing again, y'all are not looking at the whole field. This dude has made a lot of significant plays this year, even though they're not picks. That was a pick right there. We give him credit for that, for how he played it. Devin Bush just got called for holding. Kendrick Green. Come in the office and bring Freiermuth with you. But I'm going to talk to you first. Kendrick Green, I know you're a rookie. I already know some of your warts, some of the things I think you can improve on. Or not, we'll see. But I already know I feel like I know what we're going to get from you in terms of what type of blocks you can make, what's going to give you a little bit of trouble. And again, you're playing against other professionals. I get all of that. But one thing I have to get on you about today is, you're starting to remind me of the person you replaced. Even the same number. Because do you know what the guy that you replaced used to do quite often down the stretch? Like the last 4 years or so of his career? You guessed it. High snap over the quarterback's head. Or, even if it doesn't go over their head, repeat it. High snaps. I said earlier, I just told the good people, you did it on the first drive. Now, it was some weather out there, okay, but you getting paid. You're a professional. You had multiple high snaps, and then this one, when the Steelers might have a chance to keep a drive going, again, with decent field position, you snap the ball. And by the way, did y'all see Rudolph on that play? He kind of got away from the ball. I don't know. I guess he figured Najee was closer to it. I don't know. I'm going to have to rewatch that. That's just a sidebar. But Kendrick Green, come on, man. We need you to step in and replace and become your own man, coming after Marquise Pouncey. We need you to step in and play his position. We don't need you to emulate how he played with the snaps and all. Come on, brother. And send Fryer Moof in here behind you. Mr. Muth, first of all, I think you're going to be a star for this organization. I'm not really getting on you crazy here, but this is just what, this is what like, your parent would say is a little tap, just to let you, know I'm here. The next time it's going to be a real whipping. You had a drop and a fumble loss. And if I'm not mistaken, was it the same drive? Need you to be in the game, brother. Like I said, you're rookie. You've already shown that you're going to be a stud. You had a great game last week. Listen, everyone makes mistakes. We all do. But like I said, it's a little tap, just to let you know we watching. That kind of stuff you got to clean up. And again, wet conditions and things like that, man, but the game is on the line. These are moments when the game is on the line, and that's when we're going to need to be able to rely on guys like yourself, in these clutch situations, because that's how you become clutch and not just a great player or a stud. You become clutch. Remember like when TJ Watt, what he did in that game against, was it Seattle? He took over. You see what I'm saying? Clutch. So come on, Pat. Anyway, guys, real quick, man, quick takeaways, man, and then I'm going to just go on my quick little 10-minute thing maybe, and then I'm done. Steelers run defense needs some serious work. Way too many missed tackles, and that's going to be a part of my wrap-up. Mason Rudolph looked comfortable early, because I like to watch what a quarterback looks like. How does he moving in the pocket? Is he fidgety? Is he going through his progressions? Is he pre-reading? He looked comfortable early. But as the game went on, it definitely looked like he started to predetermine where he was going. And it just looked very vanilla, even when he dropped back to pass. And the balls, man, like the high throws, his accuracy was just quite an issue today. And I get it. I know some people will say, well, it was raining conditions. But listen, man, when you're in the NFL, I cannot use that as an excuse. Maybe you have a throw or two that got away from you, but not multiple. Not multiple. And the easiest throw to make was that one to Deontay Johnson on that slant. That might have ended the ball game. Just did not like how Rudolph looked, man, over the duration of the game. He was looking decent early in the game. Like I said, looked comfortable, didn't look rattled, seemed like he was going through his progressions. And then just later on, man, I don't know. His deep ball accuracy was off. I mean, think about it. Most of his deep shots were short. I didn't see one ball that it was an overthrown ball or was out in front. Just didn't look good today. Not enough attempts to fry and move, I think. I think we didn't work the tight end as much as I think we could have possibly in that game. Again, I'll go back and watch the film to see if they was taking him away. But it just seemed like, it was really vanilla as far as what Rudolph was attempting to do, his approach with the passing game. Kick coverage was horrible today, I think. We gave up the good punt return, but also I think the kick returns were relatively decent for them. Outside of the opening kickoff when Derek Watt made a great tackle at the 11-yard line. And I wrote here, Kendrick Green, too many high snaps. Of course, we already talked about that. And then James Pierre. Should James Pierre be the starter? James Pierre was making some plays out there. Should he actually be the starter on the outside with Joe Hayden when we're in base? I'm having I don't know how I feel about Cam Sutton, guys. I've asked this question. Kenyon is my witness. I've even asked, for you guys listening to Steelers Depot, y'all remember a few games back, I sent a question to their podcast and they read the question on air. I've seen too many situations, man, with Cam Sutton in games where he's blown a coverage. I don't know how I'm feeling about Cam Sutton out there on the outside. I don't know, man. I don't know. And shout outs to Trey Norwood, man. I have it here in the notes, but I don't want to forget that. Trey Norwood almost came up with a pick too. And Trey Norwood again shows me that he's getting better in the coverage situation, which is the reason why I don't understand we was having Marlette in those situations so much last week. But anyway, let me get to the real meat and potatoes of this, man. We're at 33 minutes, so I want to try to get in and get out of here. Guys, did I not tell y'all? And I'm not saying I predicted that we would lose or tie or win. But have I not been saying that this team is just not a great team, right? So to be fair to the Pittsburgh Steelers and the organization, you find out that your starting quarterback is not playing. You found that out last night. That's not an easy adjustment. And I was sitting there watching the game with my father-in-law, Leonard, and I kept reminding him that, look, Rudolph doesn't look great, but we cannot dance around or ignore the fact that the man didn't know he was playing until yesterday. Let's just be honest. And I don't know what that does to a quarterback, if he's ready or not. I don't know. The rhythm ain't quite there with the receivers. You understand what I'm saying? So, but that shouldn't have much to do with his accuracy. He's passing every week. He's practicing. But that is a little different. Maybe that stripped down the offense more than what we anticipated. I thought we would see it open up a little more. We did run a few more play actions, but maybe it was stripped down a little more because you didn't really have a game plan for Mason Rudolph. I don't know. But to be fair, to lose your starting quarterback the night before the game, you lose one of your offensive weapons in a Claypool, maybe it is a tough game. But didn't I tell y'all that these Lions are not a bum 0-8 squad? You can't. I know we are Steelers fans to the core, and this game hurts. A tie. I hate seeing that. But guys, Tampa Bay lost today to Washington. And we saw all of the nonsense, man, last week, all of the upsets. Oh, by the way, let me interrupt myself, man, because I saw that there was a donation earlier. Here's another one. Man, I can't remember who sent the first one. My bad. I know I saw a $10 one earlier and couldn't get to it in time, but let me throw a round of applause to you. Also a round of applause to C. Brown here for the donation. Let me read your comment. I like his comment, man. He says, great show as always. Thank you for that. He said, I will continue to say Ben must retire at the end of the season, and Mason is not the answer. Peace. I don't disagree. And I'm going on record and saying that, guys. I've been saying that. Yes, it's still time for Ben to retire. I don't care if we are able to win games with him this year. A reason why I say it's time for Ben to retire because the Steelers need to now go take the next step. Let's just face it. We need to. The Bengals have done it. The Ravens did it. The Browns did it. And however you feel about Baker Mayfield is up to you. But in theory, we have to go to that next level now. Us relying on this quarterback that's been with us for what year is this? 18? 17, 18? It's not going to happen no more. It's not going to happen. And again, maybe Mason Rudolph is not the future, but it is going to be curious to see what the Steelers think, because let's not forget, he's signed now for another season. He's already signed to play next year. So I do wonder how they feel. We know how we feel, but the question is, how do the Steelers feel? Shout outs to Luis D. Round of applause for the donation. He said, James Pierre, I believe, played well today. Do you think he's deserving to the number 2 spot sooner rather than later? Najee got some key first downs. He's a stud. Absolutely did, man. And yes, listen, man, I think Pierre today showed that perhaps he might need to be the number 2. I feel that way. Now, again, will I feel the same after I really analyze the tape to see what's going on? But again, it was times in this game where James Pierre showed up, whether it was tackling or a pass defense, his name, you was seeing it. And that's when you know a player is doing something. Or if they're a shutdown guy, you don't hear their name. We don't have no shutdown corner, so we can't even have that argument. But yeah, man. And again, let's be honest. Oh, of course, we got somebody in here that's I still don't get why y'all come in here, but welcome. But again, you have a Ravens fan has no room to talk after what happened Thursday. Come on, man. Come on. You want to say the Lions 0-8. Okay. The Dolphins was 2-7. And the Dolphins literally shut down what the Ravens do best. But again, and this is where I was going before I went off track, it's any given Sunday. And that's why I always laugh at us as fans that we always talk as if we know what this team is going to do, what that team is going to do. I know it's just passion. And, it's just ha, fun and games. But some people be serious. Some people be dead serious, like they playing. You never know. It's week to week. Like boxing, styles make fights. It don't matter. Again, Tampa Bay lost today to the Washington football team that has been stinking it up most of the season. Dallas got blown out last week. New England blew out Cleveland today. The Ravens lose to the Dolphins. I mean, it happens. Upsets happen, but people, like I said, I'm not going to address narratives anymore. Y'all can have them. Y'all tune in to me to hear my opinion, so I'll give my opinion. And it's just that. It's just an opinion. But I think people hold on too much to those things. This team you should beat. Oh, the coach didn't have this team ready to play. Oh, this coach, none of that matters when the ball is snapped, honestly. You know what I'm saying? And again, for people that's going to criticize today, what about the fact that the starting quarterback didn't play? Like, they found out that Ben was not playing until last night. They didn't find out until last night. Like, see, that's what I'm saying. People don't put things in the proper perspective. Now, again, I've been telling y'all all week that our offense ain't really been nothing really anyway. Even when Ben has been playing, we have been right around middle of the road. So really nothing much changed. But my final point is this team is not that good. I'm going to sit here every week and I'm going to root for them, but my expectations are tempered. Use the eye test. You don't have to use anything else but the eye test. Take your emotions away, meaning, oh man, we should be. No. Look at what's happening on the field. Stop listening to this dude on, this media pundit, and stop listening to this guy on this show and that show. And even you ain't even got to believe me. But I think personally, I keep a very realistic perspective, which is the reason why I'm a huge fan of Steelers Depot, because they do the same thing. That's why I'm a big fan of them, and I'm always promoting them because they keep it even kill. And we're all diehard fans, but we are objective. Shout outs to Mariano Papa, man, for the donation. Round of applause. Thank you, sir. Yes, he is, man. Boswell is becoming a 50-yarder, 50-plus yarder, and he's making it look very easy. You're right. Shout outs to Captain Spartan for the donation. Round of applause. Another round of applause to C.T. Pittman. C.T. Pittman and Captain Spartan, man. Thank you guys, man, for the donations tonight. He says, Pierre, definitely 2, but keep him at 2 next season. Add QB1 in the offseason. Also add a D tackle. Hate to say it, but Bush might not be it. Yeah, man. Can we move on from from Kendrick? Listen, it's a tricky situation. It's because you drafted Kendrick Green where you did, it's hard to just move on from him. He's had, some good games. He's had some bad games, right? But I don't think you see any movement now. He's a rookie. You got to allow him to take his lumps. If you see movement, it'll be next season. Maybe you move him to guard or something. I don't know. But I think if you move on from him, it's going to be an off-season thing, draft thing. It's not happening the rest of this season. But I feel what you're saying. And Bush, yeah, man, listen. I think they're going to give Bush another season, guys. Y'all know how it works. He's a first-round pick. Now, what's going to be interesting is whether or not they pick up his option. But they're going to give this guy another run at it, man, and allow him to get himself back because the injury is going to protect him. You know what I'm saying? The fact that he's injured, it allows them to say, well, he wasn't quite right. So, but I'm agreeing with you. Bush is just not making the splash, and he's not attacking. I need you to attack them blocks. C. Pittman says, as a former college football player, I can attest to you speaking facts. A lot of people have these opinions, have never played football. I'm going to give you another round of applause, my brother. Now, the reason why I gave C. Pittman a round of applause, and this is not to knock anyone who's never played football or, because you can know football without having played it. But the bigger point that he's making is you have people who watch the game differently and we try to educate. And that's what I do. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I kind of came up with the shows because I'd be having these thoughts of my own. And I was like, you know what? I don't really see any real shows that try to educate from a fan's perspective, like an average Joe. And I always try to incorporate that. Like, I watch the game differently. I'm looking at every aspect. I know the full roster, because there's a lot of people who don't even be knowing the roster. I know the roster down to the practice squad. I'm just that heavily involved. So I can kind of tell you, well, actually, this is what was happening. Look at this, man. Here we go. We got somebody acting nutty. Hold on. Let me take care of that. But that's the thing. And like I said, it's not a disrespect to anyone who hasn't played ball. It's just that sometimes the opinions that people have, you lose me with it because I don't know where you come up with some of this stuff. Like, for example, you watch one game and somebody's trash. You watch one game and somebody's the greatest. You watch one game and the coach is the greatest, and watch one game and the coach is the worst. And it's like, just like today, again, watching the game with my father-in-law. And he was like, man, they going to have to do something with Bush, get him out of there. And my reply was, I feel you, but who you replacing him with? That's not always the answer. Like, who on the roster replaces Devin Bush? Also, just because a team is being successful, it doesn't mean that your team didn't make an adjustment. What if the Lions were just able to run the ball? Now, saying that they don't adjust is an easy thing. That's easy for the average fan to say because you really don't know. You really don't know what's happening X and O's wise, and I'm saying it respectfully. You don't really know the formation that they thrown out there, personnel package, yada, yada, yada. What they're seeing come against them from the offensive perspective. Is easy for people to say, they ain't make no adjustments. That's the easy answer. But in fact is, what if they just winning? What if the other team is just having their way? They're professionals. And see, when Mike Tomlin says that in his press conference, people consider it to be hyperbole. When he literally says the same thing. Look, man, it's an NFL team looking for a win. I don't care what their record is. That is a fact. We don't have to like it. I'm just saying, I say all that to say this. Did I not say last night and Tuesday that, hey, man, we could lose this game? I said it. Because, for one, this ain't fair to put this on Mason Rudolph, but what was my main complaint? That offense don't put up enough points. Last week, I was saying that secondary gets picked apart. This week, our run defense leaked very bad, and have we not been seeing that all season? The only game that we kind of controlled it pretty well was Cleveland. But didn't the Seahawks do the same thing to us? Excuse me. Listen, the Steelers' defense is good enough to make some stops. It's proof of that, right? But we don't have a shutdown defense. We honest and truly right now have a team that has to be balanced. Your defense, I don't think we have a great enough defense that they just gonna win it for you for multiple games. I don't think our offense is great enough that they're gonna win it for you for multiple games. I think they have to be in sync. And I know some people are gonna say, oh, that's obvious. Well, no, it's not. We've seen teams that have tremendous offense and no defense, or vice versa, and one of the groups is able to, they can lean on that group. Does Killer B era sound familiar? No real defense in them days, right? But we was putting up enough points to where it didn't matter. We have a solid enough defense right now that can give you the 3 and out here and there, that can force a 3rd and long here and there and get off the field. But offensively, we don't compensate that. And again, this was Mason Rudolph today, but it's been the same with Ben Roethlisberger. And that's why I feel the way I feel, guys, when I say I don't think we going nowhere this year. Now, yeah, we didn't lose. You know, a tie is better than a loss. Ravens fan, if you're still in here, at least we didn't lose. I know, no moral victories. But I'm just saying, it happens. But it especially happens when you have a team that's not that good. That's it. Round of applause to another donation from CT Pittman. CT Pittman, thank you for saying that, man, because I was telling my father-in-law the same thing watching the game. I was pointing out times. I was like, that ain't coaching. Let me tell y'all what ain't coaching. Y'all ready? All them missed tackles. All them missed tackles today. I ain't ready to blame Carl Dunbar. I'm not ready to blame Keith Butler. I ain't ready to blame Tomlin for all of. Did y'all see all that missed tackling? How many times this year have we talked about tackling? And like my man said, you can blame the coaches all day, you know, but the coaches ain't in them one-on-ones. Sometimes it's just your guy is just losing. We see the guys who are constant, you know, guys who bring it every week. Your Cam Haywards, Alex Highsmith. I saw you looking better against the run today too. You starting to become that dual threat. The sacks will come. I think they'll come. I saw you. Guys like that, you see the effort every week. We're not seeing these moments from Bush or Schobert. I'm going to be honest. We're not seeing moments that you can identify in a game like, oh, that was a great play by Schobert. That was a great play by Bush. We're not seeing them consistently. And listen to what I'm saying. Might not happen every week, but every game, there's a play or two where you can say, oh, do we not say that about Cam Hayward every week? I'm just saying, man, our linebacker, man, what is going on? Hold on, guys. These people are so stupid, man. I don't understand these idiots that just come trolling for no reason. got nothing else better to do. Like it's crazy. And I know, most of the time I would say don't address it, but it's like it's just ignorant. So, but whatever. I'm about to wrap up anyway. But yeah, I'll end it with this, guys, and we could talk more on Tuesday. We're not a great team, folks. And I'm not saying it's over either. I mean, hey, we sitting here at 5-3-1, So we still in the thick. We still in the thick of things, but I don't think we go nowhere, guys. I just don't. We got to go out to LA next week. I mean, now we getting into the meat of that schedule. And I just don't feel confident in this team, man. So I'm just keeping it a buck. C. Antoine Hill, thank you for the donation. Round of applause. See, Antoine, I'm going to tell you right now, as an athlete that's played ball, I disagree with this. But he says, I think the defense choose who they want to play hard against. We have the talent, but have inconsistent play by the players. I just don't believe that. And I'm not saying you're wrong. That's your opinion. I'm just saying I respectfully disagree with that because, dog, if you're playing football at a professional level and you really out there choosing when you're going to play hard and not, when you do stuff like that, that's how you get yourself hurt, easing up or whatever. I just don't believe that. Like I said, I don't feed into those narratives. It's not saying saying that you can't. Again, that's your opinion. I'm just giving you my thoughts. I never feed into the narratives of the players, pick and choose how they want to play. Across the board. It could be a player or two, but I'm talking about across the board. Or, team, the coaches didn't have the team ready to play. I don't believe any of that, man. I believe that, come on. They just lost. When they lose, they just lost. When they tie, they just tie. When they win, they just win. That's just how it goes. That's how it goes. J.R. Minor, Minka made a splash play today. Let's not forget that. He did. And coincidentally, the other guy that you mentioned was the reason why that splash play got called back. You think Bush is undersized and teams are attacking him? I do. I definitely do. Yup. I definitely do. Got time for maybe a couple more questions or thoughts. Rajon 39 says, no, Hill. I think he's talking to C. Antoine. He says, when playing football, it's always go time when that chin strap is strapped. Yeah, man. Yeah. Mr. ABS says, look, schemes matter as well. The Lions were able to not pass and just straight up run on us. We are lucky to have gotten that tie. Their passing game came late, and it could have ended us. Man, absolute. This is what I'm saying, dog. Just look at what happened. That man had 34 yards passing at halftime, I think. They just lined up and ran the ball. And we've seen this before. Even remember again, Seattle. We were in base defense and they ran on us in Seattle. It's just, guys just didn't execute, man. It's just that simple. Let me see what my man says here. Still City says, as someone who was at the game, the conditions were killing us. Now that could be very, very, very possible, Still City. That could be very, very possible. That's why, if I'm being honest, man, maybe that's a great place to end it. That's why it's hard for me to completely blast Rudolph. I have to because, he was inaccurate, but maybe the conditions played a part in it. I don't know, man. I mean, the high snaps, maybe. But I still feel like this was a winnable game. Easy. If he hits Deontay Johnson on that slant, that may take a turn for a different direction. Deontay Johnson does not fumble the ball. That may have taken us in another direction. Perhaps if Freiermuth doesn't fumble there late, that takes us in another direction. So the elements, I'm sure, played a part, but again, man, it's football. 410 says, you missed my first comment. And thank you for the donation, by the way. Said I missed it. Where was it? Because I'm probably not going to see it now. I'm looking for it. I don't see it. Well, maybe that was your donation. Were you the one that donated the first time and I said I had missed it? Maybe that was you. Mason throws alley-oops. Yeah, man. Brian Nash says, don't make excuses for Mason. He wasn't doing that when Ben went out for the year. But I didn't make an excuse for him. I think I summed it up very well. I said maybe it did have something with the conditions, but you got to make those plays. I said it earlier in the show. You have to make those throws. The one to Deontay Johnson, that's just unacceptable. Come on, man. That's a slant. You got to make that. Okay. 410 Carpenter. Thank you, man. Thank you for the donation for both. Thank you. Javon Lewis says, the Steelers organization, big mistake. What? You says, here the Steelers organization, big mistake. Okay. What's the rest of it? Thank you, Debbie. Hey, Miss Debbie, how you doing, by the way? I don't think I saw you earlier. Yeah, Debbie confirmed it was 410. So thank you again, man, for the donation. Last one here. Leonard Dodd says, man, we got 3 Leonards in the chat. He says, same vanilla play calling for Ben and Rudolph, so obvious. There you go. The coaching has to get better and more unpredictable. That is why this offense is so stagnant. If it's a talent, then again, coaching, pick them. Okay, I can go along with that. Looked very vanilla. And man, that jet sweep, we need to slow down on that jet sweep a little bit. Because I think teams are starting to be able to eyeball that a little bit. We need to pick our spots with that. Lyle McCombs, thank you for the donation, man. You guys went crazy with it today. Yeah, man. Listen, guys. Come back on Tuesday. Yes, I am shameless plugging. Come back and spend time with me again on Turbo Tile Tuesday because the phone lines will be wide open. It ain't really a whole lot. Honestly, we might just do nothing but phone calls Tuesday. It ain't nothing else to talk about in this game, right? Because I'm anticipating a bunch of people calling. So I want you guys to call in. There's the phone number, 619-924-0818. And honestly, I might not even have to do no brief recap of today's game. What I might do if I do a recap is just real quickly look at some of those plays and determine whether or not we know Rudolph was missing high all day, and that slant was just unacceptable. But yeah, I really want y'all to call in, man. So I'm saying it. I'm going to keep that extremely short. If I do an intro at all for that show, it might just be, all right, guys, this is what Tomlin said in the presser. Here's the injury update. Phone lines are open, and let's have at it. And that's what we're going to do. Oh, man, Luis, thank you for that, man. Round of applause to Luis D for another donation. But all right, that's going to do it. Actually, let me check one last thing. Hold on. Najee, did he end up with 100 yards? I think he did. 26 carries for 105 yards. So, yeah, I still feel like we need to limit some of those touches. I don't want to run this kid in the ground, man. I really don't. That's really scaring me. But all right, man, I hope you guys have a great evening. I'm going to go eat some Sunday dinner, man. I hope you guys, listen, stomach it however you want to stomach it, but I'm going to leave you with this last impression. I'm telling you, we can root for this team, and maybe they'll surprise us, but don't expect them to go anywhere. We're just not a great football team as a collective right now. I think we have enough games to understand that, and maybe they'll surprise us, but don't be surprised if they don't. Yeah, that's a riddle. But all right, man. If you haven't already, make sure you do this. Subscribe to the channel. If you like what you saw, make sure you hit that like button, as well as cutting on your notifications so you know when videos are up and running. I will be back to you guys on Tuesday for Terrible Towel Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. As for today, stay well, stay safe, God bless, and thank you for tuning in to Terrible Towel Tuesday. Catch y'all later. Thank you for tuning in to the Terrible Towel post-game show. I'll see you on Tuesday. Peace.